Hello my friends, welcome to At Home with Gigi. Thank you so much for being here today. I am so excited to share today's video with you. I am part of a collaboration with some wonderful YouTubers, and I'll have everything down in the description box, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it later. But we're going to be sharing with you some summer tiered tray DIYs, and mine is going to be sunflowers and bees, and everything that I'm using today I already had. I did not have to buy anything, so I'm crafting from my stash, so I can't wait to show you what you can do with things that you may already have and not have to spend any money to create something beautiful. So let's get started. We're going to make a sweet little birdhouse for our tiered tray today, and I'm going to be using the Rust-Oleum white linen. I'm just going to give it one coat of that. And then I'm going to go in with the yellow flame from Apple Barrel, and I'm going to paint the front and the back and each of the sides. As I mentioned earlier, this video is part of the Tiered Tray Summer collaboration, and two of our hosts today is DIY with Aurea and One Way Designs 238. And the two co-hosts for today is Twisted Serenity and Lowly D's Creations. And I'll have everybody's channels listed in the description box along with the playlist. So if you're from my channel, please go show these folks some love and tell them that I sent you and say hello for me. If you're here from the playlist, a great big welcome to you, and thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Now I'm just going in and adding a layer of Mod Podge to the roof on each side. And then I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to use the iron-on technique to add this gorgeous tissue paper with the sunflowers. I want to make sure I get as many sunflowers on the roof as possible, so I'm just trying to get the best placement. Not really sure why I decided to do two individual pieces on each side of the roof. I guess I'm just extra like that. But anyway, once I got my placement, I'm just using my little tiny iron, and I'm just going in and just ironing the tissue paper on. And y'all, if you watch any of my videos, you know this is my favorite way to Mod Podge. I just love it, and it really does work. Just wait and see. Next, I'm just going to use my little finger sander and go in and remove the excess tissue. And this is my favorite way to remove tissue or scrapbook paper, napkins, whatever the case may be. It just gives it such a nice, clean finish. I'm just very lightly running this side or the edge of my sandpaper along those lines that's on the roof, because I want to make sure that those are going to pop out. Now, it was pretty easy to do for that bottom one because it was kind of wide, but the top one wasn't very wide, so I'm just using my X-Acto knife, just very, very lightly, as you can see, running it across just so it'll pop. As you can see, I've already done the other side of the roof, and I'm going to add in just a little tiny piece of rope, and this rope came from Walmart, and y'all, it was a huge roll that I am still working on. I've had it forever, and I'm just using just a little bit of hot glue, and I'm just going to run it around the opening of the birdhouse. To keep my rope from fraying so badly, I did tape off each end of the rope, and then I cut it very, very close to the end. That way that tape would just hold it all together. It's adding in a little bit of hot glue here to keep it in place, and then we're going to pop in one of these cute little bees that came from the Dollar Tree just to cover up where the two pieces of rope meet. I want to add the words "Be Kind" to the bottom of the birdhouse, and these stickers came from Amazon, and I'll try to link them down below if I can find them. I've had, like I said, I'm crafting from my stash, so all of this stuff I have had for quite some time. But anyway, I have added a layer of Mod Podge, and then I'm just going to go in and use my handy dandy tweezers because I'm so fat fingered, and then just add the words "be kind" to the bottom of the birdhouse. And then I'm just going to go over the top with more Mod Podge to make sure it's going to stay in place, and then also to take down some of that shininess from the sticker. I want to add in a little more embellishment or detail to the front of the birdhouse because why not? But anyway, I'm going to add in some of these cute little white roses, and again, if y'all have watched any of my videos, you know that I love these. Every time I run into Walmart and they have them, I pick up some, and I'm just adding a couple of them to the front, and then I'm just adding a little more hot glue to make sure they stay in place. And then we're just going to pop in another one of these little bees to just help cover up some of that hot glue there on the front of the house. And that's it, y'all. It's all done. And I think it turned out absolutely adorable, but you're going to have to tell me what you think about it. We're going to be making a quick little tag sign for our tiered tray, and this tag sign came from Walmart, and I'm just going to give it a quick coat of Rust-Oleum white linen. Now that my base coat is dry, I'm just going to go around the edges of the little tag sign and paint that with Celery from Waverly Chalk Paint. We're going to be Mod Podging this beautiful tissue that someone sent me last summer, and y'all, I can't remember who sent it to me right now. If I do, I'll link it below. But anyway, we're going to Mod Podge it to the top of our tag sign. I've already added a layer of Mod Podge on here, let that dry, and then we're going to use the iron-on method. If you're not familiar with the iron-on method, that's where you put your Mod Podge down on your surface, let it dry, then you place your tissue, napkin, whatever you're going to be Mod Podging or decoupaging rather, and then you place your pieces of parchment on top, and then you use an iron on very low setting, and I just like to smooth it out. I usually like to start from the center and then just smooth out towards the sides or the ends of the sign or whatever I'm decoupaging, and I just keep going around until I'm sure that I have reactivated that Mod Podge, and that's what the heat does, it reactivates it. And it gives us such a beautiful smooth finish. Y'all, I love this method. It's one of my favorites. I've already shown you how to sand off the excess tissue, so I'm not going to bore you with that again. So I've already done that and added the tassel to my twine, and now I'm just going to add a variety of beads that I've had on hand for forever, and I just thought they would look really well with my little tag sign. I'm just going to go ahead and tie the garland onto the end of my tag, and then just add a tiny bit of hot glue just to make sure that twine's going to stay in place and not come untied. I've mixed together jet black from Apple Barrel and spackling from the Dollar Tree because I want my paint mixture to be thicker so I can create more of a 3D effect with the stencil that I'm using. And by the way, the stencil came from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just using my popsicle stick to spread the paint mixture out over it. Unfortunately, I didn't realize at the time that my paint mixture just was not thick enough to achieve that 3D look that I was going for until after I had removed my stencil. When I removed the stencil, that's also when I realized I had seriously misjudged just how big the words BU were, but they were a little bit small for this tag sign, but I think it is still just really darling, and I think it's just a perfect touch to my tiered tray. Y'all, this is just such a simple and easy DIY. I've already given the rolling pin a coat of Rust-Oleum white linen, let it dry, and now I'm just painting it with Apple Barrel's Yellow Flame. And yes, I love to begin most of my projects by painting them white. To me, it gives it a very good base and just makes your colors pop, and especially when I'm decoupaging. Next, I'm just going to go in and paint the handles with Waverly chalk paint in the color ink. And aren't these little rolling pins just adorable? I've had these for over a year now and just have not gotten around to making anything with them recently. And they came from Amazon, and I will try to remember to link them down below. I have had so much fun seeing what I have in my crafting stash to make these items for this video, and I've always known that I had way too much stuff, but when I decided to do this video challenge or collaboration, I was like, you know what, I have everything I need, so I'm going to see what I can do to just use everything that I have on hand. And y'all, I did not have to buy anything for this video. I've had all of it on hand already, so I am so proud of myself. I let the rolling pin set overnight just to make sure it was completely dry, and I'm just going in and adding a layer of Mod Podge, and then I'm going to use another one of these stickers from Amazon. I am going to go ahead and add another layer of Mod Podge on top of the sticker just to help to seal it in, make sure it's not going to come loose, but it will also help to take down some of that shininess from the sticker. I had so much fun creating the other little rolling pin, I decided to paint another one, and we're going to use this bee paper that came from Amazon as well, and I believe I received those last year when I ordered some of the little honey dippers. And they were just been sitting in my stash, and I thought they would just be so cute around a rolling pin. So yes, I've already painted it white. Y'all know I love to paint everything white before I decoupage it. And I've added a layer of Mod Podge, and then I'm just going to wrap the paper around the rolling pin. I'm just going to go ahead and trim off that excess paper, and then I'll put another layer of Mod Podge on top of that, and then I'm just going to use the plastic wrap to smooth it down and make sure there's no lumps or bubbles from that Mod Podge. And I also want to make sure I've got a really good seal on the paper where it's not going to come up. There was just a little bit of excess paper on each end of the rolling pin, so I just used a nail file and sanded it off. And because I felt like the rolling pins needed to be even more cute, I'm going to add a little twine bow to this one, and then on top of the bow I'm going to add in a little sunflower. For this rolling pin, I'm just going to pop on a little small black and white bow, and y'all, when I was digging for this ribbon, I found another set of little bees that actually have wings on them, and I have no idea where these come from. I really don't. I want to say Amazon, but I'm not real sure about that. If I can find them, I will link them down below. It's got like 3 or 4 different sizes in there. I thought they were just so cute. Isn't it just perfect? I love these. So I'm going to make a little house for my tiered tray. And I'm just showing you here, I had planned to just use my blow dryer, pop off this roof, and then use the heat to loosen up the paper. Well, the roof came off just fine, no problem with some heat. The paper, on the other hand, that was a different story. So I'm going to show it to you in case you were like me and picked up 7 or 8 of these things during Valentine's Day for different crafts. As you can see, the roof popped right off. Then I start trying to remove the paper, and that is a whole different story. Finally, I got smart and sprayed it with water because the sanding block did not work. And as you can see, that does help. But I will tell you one thing. The glue that they use to put this on, it emits a terrible smell. So you might want to do this outside. I probably should have, because it made my whole craft room and out into the hallway just smell. But as you can see, I just kept using, and I'm wearing gloves, just kept using my scraper and just more water, and it just came right off with baby wipes and paper towels. So after I finished removing all the smelly white gunk and give it a good wipe down, I went in and gave it a coat of what else? Rust-Oleum white linen. Isn't this napkin beautiful? I love it. It came from Napkin World, and this is my little trick for removing the extra plies. And this is a 3-ply napkin, and you always want to remove them all to make sure it's going to adhere to your surface. But I just run over it with my iron on low heat and see how smoothly they just come apart. I've always had trouble with getting my napkins to come apart until I stumbled upon this little trick. I'm going to use a tiny paintbrush and some water to separate my napkin. Now you can cut it if you prefer. I just love this method. It gives it a more uneven, more textured look. I'm just positioning my napkin where I want it. I have already added my layer of Mod Podge, let it dry as usual because we are going to be using the iron-on method. I know I'm getting a little repetitive, but I told y'all this is my favorite way, and I love the nice smooth finish that it gives. I mean, it just melds your napkin, tissue, whatever you're using, decoupage paper with your surface, and I just absolutely love it. And this again is my favorite method to remove the excess, just using my little sanding or finger sander. I'm going to give the little trim that goes around the top of the house a coat of Waverly chalk paint and ink, and then I'll just use a mixture of super glue and hot glue to reattach it to the house. So I wanted to add in some of these little bumblebees, and these did come from the Dollar Tree, and I've had them since last summer, and I thought they were just so cute, and I kept looking at it and thinking it needs something else, but I just couldn't decide. I tried out a variety, even adding in more bumblebees, and decided against that, and then I was like, you know what, it needs a bow. So I made this little simple bow with some ribbon, and I believe all of this, well, the white did not. The white lace came from Amazon, and boom, that was the extra little bit that it needed. And I'm just going to pop in one of these little beads that looks like, to me, looks like a hive right in the center to cover up the twine. and I just love it. I think it is just absolutely adorable. So cute and so very easy to do. So if you're going to have a bee themed video, you got to have a hive, right? So we're going to be using this little wooden hive that came from Walmart, and I'm just going to start by giving it a coat of Waverly chalk paint and truffle. I know you may be thinking, why is she making this beehive so dark? Well, this is my base coat, and I'm going to add in a lighter color on top, and then you'll see what I'm going to do. Don't forget to go check out the description box if you're from my channel, and go and show some love to these other wonderfully talented YouTubers. I promise you, you will get so much inspiration. And if you're from the playlist, thank you so much again for stopping by. I truly appreciate you, and I hope that you'll decide to become a part of my YouTube family. After letting the truffle dry, I went in, I believe that is sandstone, may have been mineral, I can't remember right off the top of my head, but as you can see, it looks very gray, and I did not like that, so I took maize, the sandstone or the mineral, whichever one I was using, and truffle, and mixed them all together, and I just kept mixing them back and forth until I come up with this color. And I think I got pretty close, at least in my mind, to what the color a beehive should be, but you'll have to tell me what you think. Did I get pretty close? Now, I did go back and give this a second coat of paint, and I had intended to go back while the paint was still wet and distress it with the white, but unfortunately I got sidetracked and it was almost completely dry by the time I remembered to go back. And as you can see here with the wipe, as I'm running it along the edges, it's not very much paint coming off. Actually, it looked like it was more distressing in person along the slats or grooves, whatever you want to call those things, than it does here on camera. I'm kind of disappointed that it's not coming across for you to be able to see, because I really wanted those little slats or grooves to pop with that truffle, but well, it is what it is. I may go back and use my finger sander and just sand along the grooves just a little bit for my own personal preference, but unfortunately you won't be able to see that. I am going to be decoupaging the little bees. I'm going to use the same paper that I used on the rolling pin. So I'm just going ahead and adding a layer of Mod Podge, and then I'm just going to add the paper. And y'all, I don't know what happened. I guess I added in way too much Mod Podge. I don't know, but this paper wrinkled so bad after it dried. I don't know. I've never had a paper wrinkle the way that this did, and I was just so bummed. I don't think you'll be able to see it on video because of my camera, but you'll see in a moment. I did let it dry, and then when I came back, it was wrinkled. So I took some parchment paper, placed it on top, and then tried to iron out the wrinkles. As you can see right here, some of them did come out, but it was like lumpy, and I just do not know what happened. I just used a combination of scissors and my nail file to remove the excess paper from the bumblebees, and I wanted to give the little opening to the beehive some definition, so I'm just going to hot glue some of this rope around the opening. So I want to camouflage the ends of the rope, and I originally put this sunflower on there, and then I got to looking at it, I'm like, that's just too much yellow. So I went back and changed it with another white flower, and y'all, I forgot to turn the camera back on. So sorry about that. And then I'm just going to hot glue another little bee on the other side. All that's left to do is just add in my little bow, and all of this ribbon came from the Dollar Tree. And I think it's just the perfect little touch for the top of the hive. And you guessed it, I'm just going to pop in another one of these bumblebees. I think this is just the perfect addition to my tiered tray. I love this little hive. It's so cute. But looking at it on my tiered tray after I had filmed it, I'm realizing I needed to add a backing to that, and I just totally forgot that. Can't believe I did that. But anyway, I still think it's super cute. Y'all, I had so much fun challenging myself to create these sweet little tiered tray DIYs with items I already had on hand without going out and buying a single thing. I promise you, not a single thing. I used everything I already had, and that just made my little soul happy. But thank y'all for being here today. I truly appreciate it. Don't forget to go check out the playlist down in that description box and tell everybody I said hello. If you're here from the playlist, thank you so much for being here. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me to grow. And I will see you next time. Bye.